Tonight from Disneyland, George Burns invites you to an enchanted evening.
Well, we're certainly seeing magic tonight.
An hour of spectacular illusions and death-defying escape like you've never seen before, with special guest stars Sigfried and Roy, Night Court's Harry Anderson, and Marky Post. Wow! Plus Morgan Fairchild, Gloria Etefan, and Miami Sound Machine, and cheer John Ratzenberger. It all happens right before your eyes on Disney's Magic in the Magic Kingdom. Watch closely now as we witness an illusion of gigantic proportion. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's greatest illusionists, Sigfried and Roy.
I don't mind getting out of a box, but at my age, I'm not getting into one. Not me.
Tonight, we proudly present the world's finest magicians gathered from every corner of the globe to mystify, amaze, and enchant. From Disneyland in Anaheim, California, it's Disney's Magic in the Magic Kingdom. With your hosts, George Burns, and guests, Night Court's Harry Anderson, recording stars Gloria Etefan and Miami Sound Machine, Morgan Fairchild. Also from Night Court, Marky Post. Cheers, John Ratzenberger. International Magician of the Year, Lance Burton. Escape artist, Dean Gunnarsson. The first family of magic, the Pendragon. Japan's premier illusionist, Princess Tenko. And special guest stars, the world's greatest illusionists, Sigfried and Roy. Tonight on Disney's Magic in the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Burns.
Thank you. And welcome to Magic and the Magic Kingdom. Now, if you don't believe what you're seeing right now, it really is me standing here, alive, talking, breathing, smoking. I smoke between 15 and 20 cigars a day. Well, at my age, if I don't hold on to something, I might fall down. We've got a very exciting show for you tonight. Lots of fantastic magic, done by some of the world's greatest magicians, and without the use of a single camera trick. Once I did a magic act. Well, when I first started, I did all kinds of acts. I did a roller skating act. I was the front end of a horse, the back end of a horse, a ventriloquist. I figured, look, I'll try a magic act. I got myself a straw hat, got myself a pigeon, booked a Follies Theater in Brooklyn, walked out on the stage with the pigeon in my hat, counted to 3, took off my hat, the pigeon flew away, my toupee went with him. That was the end of my magic act. I must tell you, before the hour is over, you're going to see one illusion that's really going to blow your mind. Something that's never been attempted before. You see Sleeping Beauty's castle behind me? Well, Sigfried and Roy are going to make it disappear before your very eyes. Don't ask me how. I'm still trying to figure out how they made a 3-ton elephant into a 92-year-old sex symbol. But that's their problem. Now I'm going to do a little magic. I'm going to make Marky Post appear. Abracadabra. Now she appears.
There's an aura of mystery and romance that surrounds certain magicians. A perfect example of someone with that unique quality is a man who, at 22 years of age, was chosen to be Magician of the Year by the 2,000 members of the International Confederation of Magicians. When I see Lance Burton on stage, I get the feeling that he's performing just for me. We're not in a crowded theater somewhere, we're all alone. Just he and I. And no one can interrupt us.
That's quite a trick. It certainly fooled me. I thought he was going to end up as Marky Post. That's my kind of magic. That's why I always liked Harry Houdini, the great escape artist. I played on the bill with him once. Houdini. He could get out of a locked trunk in 10 seconds. Out of a straitjacket in 10 seconds. Out of handcuffs in 10 seconds. One night he went into Mae West's dressing room and couldn't get out for 2 days. I went into a dressing room, was out in 2 seconds. Well, we've got a new Houdini for you tonight. His name is Dean Gunnarsson, and he's going to attempt a death-defying underwater escape. I think he's just about ready. Take it away, John Ratzenberger.
Thank you. One of the key elements of the escape attempt you're about to see is that none of the restraint devices that Dean Gunnarsson will be placed in have been supplied by him. Like the great Harry Houdini, he insists that the handcuffs, shackles, and even this locked cage over here that he'll be sealed in are provided by experts in their field. And now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the world's most foremost escape artists, Dean Gunnarsson. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Hope to see you all real soon.
Unlike most escapes, Dean will be totally visible through the wire mesh that surrounds this shark cage. He'll be handcuffed and chained to the cage itself under the supervision of Don Shepard from the Anaheim Police Department. Now, the handcuffs and the leg irons that you brought along with you, are they all regulation police issue?
Absolutely. The only way you can get out of them is with a hacksaw.
Now, how long would it take for somebody to go through one of these things with a hacksaw?
At least 10 minutes.
Okay, at least 10 minutes. Now, imagine holding your breath for 10 minutes. In preparation for his escape, Dean has been practicing controlled breathing to increase the time he can remain underwater. So far, he can hold his breath for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The padlocks have been supplied by registered locksmith Greg Brault. Now, tell us about the locks there, Greg.
Well, these are maximum security padlocks that are made with hardened steel, so that means you cannot saw through them with a hacksaw. or open them by banging on them with a sledgehammer, or even firing a .45 caliber gun at them at close range.
Aha, there we see the last locks being attached. But once that Officer Shepard has determined that Dean has been securely handcuffed and chained to the cage will be hoisted into the air and lowered into the submarine lagoon here at Disneyland. As a precautionary measure, we have 2 divers in the lake that are prepared to free Dean from the shark cage should a problem develop. We also have an ambulance and paramedic staff on standby. Well, Officer Don, as the shackles, are they shackled?
They're shackled and secured.
Thank you very much, Officer Don. I must stress to you that this is a performance by a master in the art of escape. The element of danger is not an illusion. No attempt to recreate any aspect of what you are about to see should even be considered. Ladies and gentlemen, the escape artistry of Dean Gunnarsson. The cage has entered the water and the clock has been started. Now, if you like, take a deep breath now and see how long you can hold it. But no matter how long you can hold your breath, imagine struggling at the same time to free yourself from the chains and handcuffs that are locked around Dean Gunnarsson. Our underwater camera is providing a live picture to monitors on the surface so that our audience will never have to take their eyes off the cage. It's 30 seconds. How many of you are still holding your breath? Okay, he's got one hand free. He's out of the first set of handcuffs. 1 minute and 2 seconds. It's been 1 minute and 17 seconds. Now, as I said before, we do have paramedics standing by, and divers are ready to free him from the cage if a problem develops. Dean tried this escape earlier today. He got into some trouble with the first set of handcuffs, and our divers had to race in and pull him out of the cage. He's out of the second set of handcuffs. He's got the leg shackles off. He's banging on the wire mesh. It looks like he's prying the mesh open with a handcuff. He's got a piece of wire from the mesh, and it looks like he's trying to pick the lock. Oh, he is. He's picking the lock with a piece of wire. He's out. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This has been one of the most nerve-wracking moments of my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dean Gunnarsson.
Coming up, Sigfried and Roy attempt the disappearance of Sleeping Beauty's castle. But first, Night Court's Harry Anderson. An amazing premiere illusion by the Pendragon. Music with Gloria Etefan and Miami Sound Machine. All on Magic in the Magic Kingdom. From the Golden Horseshoe, here's Marky Post.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Horseshoe presents the Merry Machinations, the prodigious pranksterism, the flim-flam-flahooey. Here comes the judge, Harry Anderson.
One you can do at home. Fun with science and our friend, static electricity. Try it at home. Find a balloon. Fill it with air. Rub it in a head full of hair. You, sir, could invite a friend, perhaps, to help with this. Rub the balloon. charging it with immense amounts of static electricity. Throw in a gag if you like. And then find a wall or a really big carved proscenium arch if you have one, and witness the wonder of static electricity. Okay. It wasn't that good, but it didn't take that long. Oh, you like cards, do you? Here's a card, boy. Here's a card. You don't play solitaire in a phone booth with this one, but you, if that is your real name, hi. Think of a card, think of any card, think of a card, think of a card, think of a card, think of a card. Was that it? No, then it must have been one of these. Wow! Woo! 2 for 2. Boy, oh boy. Now, let me show you a card trick for real. Darling, take that deck of cards. First day with your new hands, you got them okay. Examine that deck. You make sure that is an absolutely ordinary, unprepared deck of cards, and take your time, because we're going to do the trick with these cards. Because I don't know any tricks with absolutely ordinary, unprepared cards. You know, first card trick I ever saw was shown to me by my grandpa back when I was just a little bitty smudge of a thing. Of course, Grandpa never called it a card trick. He referred to it as a game of chance. It went like this. Grandpa would pull out 4 cards from a deck. Now, they could be any 4 cards. Of course, the cards he used weren't this large, but I was younger then, and I want you to remember this the way I do. Any 4 cards will do. Here's a 5, a king, an ace, and an 8. The main thing is that they're all different suits and all different values, so they're easy to tell apart. Now, the game was simplicity itself. Grandpa would turn over one of these cards, slip it back into the stack, and I had to guess which card he had turned. To make it interesting, he added a little wager to it. If I guessed correctly, Grandpa would buy me an ice cream cone. But if I was wrong, I'd have to mow his lawn. Now, you may notice I turned out a bit on the thin side. Grandpa, on the other hand, has one of the most beautifully manicured lawns in the state. The reason for that is that his little game of chance was really a hustle, pure and simple. You see, when he turned over the card in the stack, I wasn't supposed to see which card it was, but each time I somehow managed to get a peek. Now, that I considered an advantage in a game like this, little knowing that I was falling for Grandpa's sucker move. We all saw me turn the 8. Yet if I were to bet with Grandpa that the 8 was turned over in this stack, he would show me that no, it wasn't the 8, but rather the king that was turned, and zap, I'd be out mowing the lawn. Well, after a week or so of that, I wised up a bit. The next time Grandpa turned the 8 over in the stack, the next time I got a peek of that, I didn't guess the 8, I guessed the king. And wouldn't you know, Grandpa just winked and showed me that it wasn't the king or the 8 turned over. It was, in fact, the ace that he had turned over in the stack, and there I was pushing the mower once again. I knew he was cheating me. In fact, I knew better than that. I knew that the man had some trick cards. These are trick cards, friends. In fact, they're mark cards. Did you see the markings? They're kind of subtle. They're woven into the back pattern. You have to really look for them. But if you squint and get a good look, I think you'll see the F for 5, the A for ace, the K and the E for the king and the 8. You know, Grandpa, he not only taught me how to do card tricks, he taught me how to spell.
You were just great.
Oh, thank you very much, George.
You know, I know a card trick.
No.
Leipzig showed it to me.
Nate Leipzig?
Nate
He
Leipzig.
was the greatest card man who ever lived. Really?
Yeah.
Could you show me the trick?
Sure, you got a deck of cards?
Oh, sure.
Okay. You'll notice I don't touch the cards. I want you to mix them. Just mix them good. Okay.
Okey-doke.
Now, there are 4 suits in the deck. Clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. Pick one.
Diamonds.
Diamonds. There are 13 diamonds. Pick a diamond.
7.
7 are diamonds. There are 52 cards. Pick a number.
9.
9. Now count 9 from the top, but don't turn up the ninth card. 9 from the top. 7 of diamonds.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Now, what's your card?
7 of diamonds.
Turn it up. What is it?
Ace of hearts.
So I'll stick to country singing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Morgan Fairchild.
This beautiful castle is going to disappear in just a little while, but before it does, let's take one last look inside for a moment of phenomenal magic. What you're about to see is the very first performance of this incredible illusion. It's based on a classic principle of magic, but a new twist has been added that transforms it into a modern miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, the elegant magic of those spectacular illusionists, the Pendragons.
So that's the act. Now I get it. And she told me she was going to levitate herself. I said to myself, are they allowed to do that on television? Well, we're here in Videopolis.
Still to come, the magical mysteries of the East with Princess Tenko, the digital dexterity of Lance Burton, and Sigfried and Roy attempting the disappearance of Sleeping Beauty's castle.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot who I was going to introduce. Well, what do you expect? I'm 92. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, one of Japan's biggest stars, the sensational Princess Tenko. must tell you, Tanko's dressing room is right next door to me. And there's a little hole in the wall between our dressing room. I didn't plug it up. Let the kid enjoy herself. She must have liked what she saw. She left $2 on my makeup table. Remember Lance Burton with the sword? They tell me he does a great thing with doves. What do you say we all go over to the Golden Horseshoe and watch it? No? Okay, we'll stay here.
When two people in the same profession decide to get married, they have to make several important decisions. But when those two people are both magicians, there's only one important decision. Who's going to crawl in the basket and who's going to stick in the swords? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the first family of magic, the Pendragons.
Anyway, I'm glad she's okay. She's beautiful. I'd like to take her home. Look, at my age, at least let me talk about it. Well, we're certainly seeing magic tonight. And when you talk about magic, what about this place? And you know, Disneyland is not just for kids. It's for anyone who thinks young. Which reminds me of one of my favorite songs, Morty and Mikey. Fairy tales can come true, it can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard you will find to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes, laugh at your dreams that fall apart at the seams. Life gets more exciting with each passing day, and love is either in your heart or on the way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, think of all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you've had a head start if you are among the very young at heart. You know, I've been around for a lot of years, and there's one thing I've always believed in, and I still do. You can't tell getting older, but you don't have to get old. It works. And if you should survive to 105, think of all you'll derive out of being alive. And here's the best part, you've had a head start if you are among the very young at heart. If you are among the very young at heart.
In just a few moments, Sigfried and Roy, the world's greatest illusionists, will attempt to make Sleeping Beauty's castle disappear on Magic in the Magic Kingdom.
Back in the early part of the century, the great magicians like Houdini, Thurston, and Dante packed their illusions on trains and toured the United States, working their magic in any city that had a theater and a hotel, and even some that didn't. For tonight's show, over 1,800 pounds of illusions, equipment, and magicians needed to be transported here from every corner of the globe. Some, like Princess Tenko and her troupe, traveling all the way from Tokyo, more than 10,000 miles to reach the Magic Kingdom. And as far as accommodations go, the Disneyland Hotel provides all the special attention magicians require.
And would you prefer one queen-size bed or two singles?
Well, this is it. It's time for Sigfried and Roy to make the castle disappear. Sleeping Beauty has been sleeping in there for the last 70 years. I used to take her out dancing.
Do you remember the first time you saw Sleeping Beauty? I was 5 years old, and I refused to leave the theater. I couldn't figure out why my parents chose to live in Walnut Creek, California, when they could have lived in the Enchanted Forest. For months, I dreamt that I'd wake up and look out of the bedroom window, and instead of staring into my neighbor's garage, I'd be overlooking Sleeping Beauty's castle. Of course, I knew there's no way that dream could ever come true. Until I came to Disneyland.
Those of you who haven't yet visited the Magic Kingdom might think that Sleeping Beauty's castle here isn't really a castle at all. Like those movie sets where the buildings are just fake fronts. Well, believe me, this castle is more than just a pretty face.
Walt Disney wanted the castle big, but not so big it would overpower the guests that came to visit. So instead of being cold and threatening, you get a feeling of warmth and friendliness the moment you see it.
It took over 1.5 years to bring this storybook castle to life. The massive stonework used to build it was meant to last as long as the medieval castles that inspired it. The tallest tower soars 80 feet above the moat that surrounds the castle and can be seen from every area of the park. It was placed here, at the heart of Disneyland, to serve as a constant reminder to every visitor that you have entered a world of fantasy, a world where anything can happen.
Tonight, this fantasy world is about to become even more fantastic. Without camera tricks or video effects, two of the most incredible magicians of all time are going to attempt one of the most incredible illusions of all time, the disappearance of Sleeping Beauty's castle. Let me repeat, there are no camera tricks involved here, no editing, no pre-recording. Everything is happening just as you see it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the world's greatest illusionists, Sigfried and Roy.
Wonderful night for magic.
When we first decided we are going to try to make the castle disappear, we noticed a little concern from some of the people who live here.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, Mickey.
Oh.
They thought that once the castle was gone, we wouldn't be able to bring it back.
Oh. But then we explained we wouldn't have to bring it back. This isn't just a castle built out of brick and stone. It's built out of imagination. And there is no magic strong enough to make it disappear forever. Okay?
Okay.
And they even decided to help.
If this works, all we will be seeing in a few minutes are the lights behind the castle and our friends standing on an empty piece of prime real estate.
Disney's Magic in the Magic Kingdom will return in a moment.
Well, the castle is gone, but I'm still here. And look, kids, if you're planning to come to Disneyland, I promise you the castle will be here. If it isn't, you'll get your money back. Not from me, from Disney. Good night.
Next, Dragon and Tubbs are out to bring down a corrupt politician who might be a murderer on a tense, all-new Miami Vice. Then, he's a giant talking, fast-walking man of 1,000 disguises. Sonny Spoon in an all-new series premiere. He's a scam, he's a sham, and the smoothest private eye ever to go public. Sonny Spoon premieres tonight.